And today we're going to talk a little bit more about the trend in people acquiring data, the resources. I think last time, Avi, we kind of talked about the fact that, a lot of the times when they get the data, they don't even know that they have it. But how do we think about, how they actually action on that data? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's critical because even before, like, we always see companies wanting to go and get the data, but even before getting the data, it's really, for me, what are you going to do with it? Like, what questions are you going to answer? How are you going to put it together? And much more importantly, how does that change what decision we're making today?
Well, I think the other thing that I'm seeing a lot of is like with the amount that's kind of coming in and all these different places and third party and primary data, it's complicated. It's not very clear, and there's a lot of different things that are kind of happening, and I'm not even sure how people can keep it straight sometimes.
Agreed. I think it's just in a lot of cases data overload, and you don't really have the infrastructure or the capabilities internal with the organization to really string that. So you're just amalgamating.
Yeah, I'll give you a great example. We were working with a company and they had built this pricing engine, and they were really proud of this pricing engine. And this pricing engine had like 150 different data inputs. It was just like boom, 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 boom. But the problem is that all this data sat in different spots. This person knew this person, they had to get some from the customer. And what ended up happening was it took like, 2-3 weeks to actually be able to get a quote out to a customer and help them figure out what was kind of happening and kind of to configure what they were going to do. And like they were losing a lot of business because, the customer's sitting there waiting and they're like, oh no, we got to go get this data from over here. We got to go get this data from over here. And it created so much complexity in the organization.
I think as you described that 150 data inputs, the other thing that it triggers me to is one, I'm sure internally the organization had the security blanket on that our pricing system's good because we got these 150 data inputs, we've covered off everything. But externally, one, your sales team has no idea how to explain how we got to that pricing because you're not going to go through 150 things with customers. Number two, for sure, the customers that are 2 steps away have no idea what's going on as well.
And it's the best part was, we dug in and we tried to figure out, okay, what actually matters. It was like maybe 7-8 things that actually mattered that impacted the pricing. You still got to the same thing. So like they spent all this time building the strategy, this engine with all these different inputs, and you could do the same thing with like a fraction of the data that they were kind of using. But to your point, when they were able to do that, like people understood it. They were like, okay, I get this. This is like, we don't have this black box anymore. I get how we're putting this together and we understand our pricing strategy. And they were able to move much faster. They were able to do it within a couple of hours as opposed to taking weeks. So, huge improvement. And especially from the sales side, they loved it because they were able to actually keep the customer happy and action on it really quickly.
I think that's critical when you're talking about data and thinking about how to integrate it. That clarity and simplicity, it really indicates that you know where you're going from a strategic perspective too.
Yeah, I think especially, with pricing strategy, a lot of people are trying to complicate it nowadays. They think it has to be this, I'm this I have the same formula that Uber has and surge pricing and all this stuff, or sometimes the simplicity of it, there's some beauty in the simplicity and how you can actually execute it.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.